Alright, so my new furnace blower just came in. It's a Dayton 50 CFM, 3000 RPM, and it's super quiet. I'm in love with it already, because you can hear that thing screaming like a shop vac. Over there. So I'm gonna make a little flange and make it so I can adapt it and just quick change it out. So let's fab that up real quick. Alright, these are the mattress inflator pumps that I've used for my waste oil furnace. The specs are real annoying on Amazon if you try to make an educated, you know, analysis of what's going on, or I mean, they say extreme 2 psi. This was you can't get, this was the best one. You can't get these red ones anymore. I can't find them. They were about 14 bucks. They had a red that was the highest, a black which was the medium, and a white that was low. And they rate them like 2 psi, 1.5 psi, and 1 psi. But it's like at static, at pressure, and then they give a SCM, you know, a CFM rate. So it's like meaningless units, but I obviously bought the biggest one, and I think it said it was like 28 CFM, and these are like 23. So they both work. This you could get more out of. They last, you know, of course they say don't run more than 10 minutes, you know, continuous, but I think that's with pressure if you were like inflating a mattress or something. So when you're running them free flow, they seem to last, you know, 6 months or 8 months, you know, running them 8 hours a day. So I figured what could possibly go wrong with a $12, $14 motor. So after those two, then I moved on to this one, which is the one I have now that you hear going. This one, I think the specs online said it was like 32 CFM or something like that. This was about 19 bucks, a little bit more expensive. Didn't really seem to give me any more air. It's about the same amount of noise, but that's what I found when I was looking for one. So so now we're going to switch it over to this more commercial unit that's way quieter. It's made for like a wood stove, and this actually has real specs on it. It says 50 CFM free air when you run it on 60 hertz 120 volt. So I made up an adapter that you just saw. This was actually a Ford Ranger intake I had laying around, was the right diameter. Obviously I'm not going to use a temp sensor, but it was the right diameter, and I had a couple clamps that fit. Made a flange, trying to make it so that it's clean and replaceable if this unit ever fails, you know, next year or year after. This was $62 on Amazon, so finally spending a little bit more money on it, but I can't stand that noise, and it's hard when you're trying to make videos too. So I'm going to try to do a quick change while it's hot. If it takes more than like a minute to change it, then I'm going to let the stove cool down just for safety, because I did have an issue where this thing popped a couple weeks ago when I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. And I should have let the stove cool down. But alright, let's get this new air pump changed out and see if it gives me better, worse, same heat output. Alright, let's do it. Well, it's definitely way quieter, but I guess I'm going to have to get a little used to the noise not being there, and kind of readjust the fuel and see if I can get the same heat out. At first glance, it kind of seems like I need a little more air right now, but it's not doing too bad. We'll see what happens. It's not really, it's running rich right now, it needs more air. Yeah, I think that's a fail. We definitely need more air. So that's a 50 CFM. I'm going to look for either 100 or a 200. especially since it's got a nice throttle valve on the back that you can throttle it. So yeah, I'll probably be looking for a 200 or more. But it was a good guess. I guess I could have done some math, but that's what you get when specifications are all random on China Motors and God knows what's on Amazon. Well, I don't know. I got her running hotter. Just poured a little more fuel. It's nice and quiet now. But she's running a little rich. We'll see what happens. Throttle her down a little bit more. Way quieter. Oh, it's so much nicer. Alright, let's run it for the rest of today, see what happens. I'll see if I can source another blower with the same size flange. Well, I switched that back. It's getting too cold. Wasn't putting out the right heat. I think just the velocity of the exhaust was so much lower, even though it was hot. I was, you know, in 2 minutes I'm back up to an orange drum making some heat, so I'll look for a different blower that's bigger. At least they look nice. This was kind of nice to be able to tune it too, so I'll look for another one like that. Alright, back to working on trucks.